What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'm going to take you guys through my team selection for the upcoming Game Week 24. So this video is going to have no review of Game Week 23. The Game Week, as I'm recording this, that has not actually concluded yet, with Watford Burnley taking on each other tonight. So Game Week 23's review, if you guys want to go check that out. Spoiler alert, I did captain Emmanuel Dennis, so nice lovely -2 there in terms of the captaincy. So go check out that video I created last week, as I'm just going to be focusing on Game Week 24 in the future in this video. So the team selection, we're then going to talk about my transfer plan and finalizing the video with my current chip strategy, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that if you are interested. But sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So before we get on to the Game Week 24 team selection, I want to give you guys an update on my rank. So as I've mentioned earlier on, I am actually recording this on Saturday morning just because of some timing constraints and that sort of thing. So the rank has not actually been finalized yet, but luckily with Josh King as an owner, under 100% effective ownership on my rank, and also Ben Foster and maybe De Gea coming off the bench, I will improve my rank 100%. So I do think that the rank won't change that much, but currently sitting about that 15k mark, expecting it to improve, and hopefully we can get a little bit closer to that top 10k. Then in terms of the transfers, I only have one free transfer, but I have 1.3 in the bank. And before we talk about my transfer plan, I'm going to be going over my Game Week 24 team selection currently, so that it gives you a little bit of context about my moves. So I'm going to start off with the bench as we always do, and yet again you can see in Game Week 24 I could potentially have a triple up of the Watford assets on my bench. So Ben Foster I do expect to start probably tonight, but that should give us an indication of the future first goalkeeper under Roy Hodgson. So West Ham away is not a fixture I want to be playing Foster in as a Bowen and an Antonio owner, and I just think overall Watford's offense is pretty bad and therefore I don't trust them. But maybe a little bit more interesting is I do have both Watford strikers Dennis and Josh King on my bench, and the main reason for this is that currently I don't exactly know how Roy Hodgson's going to set up that Watford attack. He might actually play with one striker, maybe two strikers up front, but with Dennis out suspended, that's going to add to the kind of uncertainty of what formation he's going to go for. Also added to that, it is against West Ham away, who have been quite solid, even though defensively have conceded a few in the past couple game weeks. I don't exactly think Watford have the best attack, and therefore I'm banking on them blanking. But this might all change. Obviously Josh King might be a better option than some of my starting 11 players, and I just want to see how Watford take on Burnley tonight and see how they're looking before I make a decision on my bench. One player that definitely will be on my bench though is going to be Marcus Alonso from Chelsea. At them travelling to the Club World Cup, they actually have a blank fixture in Game Week 24, and that's why I might actually ship Alonso out in my transfer plan. But now that the bench has been covered, let's go on to the starting 11. And starting off in goal, we've got David De Gea against a Burnley side that have actually made a few new transfers. Now that does worry me slightly, and United's form is not great at all, losing to Middlesbrough, but David De Gea wasn't in goal, it was Henderson, and that might give them the extra boost to keep a clean sheet hopefully in Game Week 24. Overall, David De Gea also has a double game week coming up, so would like to see some good form on his point of view after picking up the Player of the Month for the January period. The rest of the defense then picks itself. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold against Leicester, a team historically that he loves playing against. If you guys remember that 4-0 win that Liverpool had, Trent also got a couple of assists and also a goal right at the end of that fixture. So I am hoping for a similar performance, but kind of everyone owns Trent in the FPL game, so therefore his effective ownership is pretty high. Cancelo comes in with a similar ownership to Trent, a pretty high ownership. Fixture against Brentford should definitely start that fixture, and he also offers that attacking threat as well as the defensive threat, so hoping for some points from the Man City defender. But now we kind of go into our more differential defenders. I've gone for Soufal against Watford. I just think West Ham have a real potential of keeping a clean sheet here, and Soufal also does offer the odd assist. So I'm pretty confident playing the West Ham defender as I am with Ben White against the Wolves side that have been struggling to attack and score goals, and then Arsenal's defense is also pretty solid. So that's a good combination in my eyes for a defender, even though Ben White doesn't offer the most attacking threat. At 4.4 million, that's a cheap enough price to get a clean sheet at. So overall pretty confident in the defense actually. I think we've got some great fixtures here, obviously hoping that Soufal, De Gea and White score more points, as these are more differential defenders. But now heading on to that midfield department, and we actually do have a lovely stacked midfield in my opinion for the upcoming Game Week 24. I'm going to start off with the right hand side because that's going to be more of the differential there. Douglas Luiz might be asking me, why on earth am I playing the 4.5, actually 4.4 Aston Villa midfielder that plays more as a holding midfielder than an attacking midfielder? Well, I just think that against Leeds, maybe there could be some counter-attacks. Aston Villa have actually looked pretty strong under Stevie G, and that's why I just hope that Douglas Luiz, although it's going to be a miracle if he gets an attack in return, I'm willing to go with that chance over maybe one of the Watford attackers. But I think the more sensible option is probably to play Dennis or Josh King over him. I just don't know, I just have a feeling that Aston Villa will do quite well against that Leeds side. Jared Bowen against Watford is actually my second captaincy consideration, currently my vice captain, but if you guys don't own a Man City option, I definitely would captain Bowen, as against Watford, a side that can't defend, and I think Bowen will have that pace behind that defense. I think it's going to be quite a good score for Bowen in Game Week 24. Jota's a player that I do expect to start for Liverpool with all the uncertainty about Sadio Mane, Mo Salah. I do think Jota's going to have a start in that starting 11, and against Leicester, a side that can't defend, I'm just hoping that Jota can get on the receiving end of maybe some goals or an assist. But then going on to our two heavy hitting midfielders, it's going to be Bruno Fernandez against Burnley side away. Burnley historically have been quite a defensively strong side, but this season that's gone all out the window and they don't look like a strong side at all. But I mean, United aren't in the best of form after losing to Middlesbrough, but I mean, Bruno Fernandez did look quite strong in that fixture, and I do think he's picked up some form over these past couple game weeks. Now, I don't think I'll captain Bruno, but I'm just hoping that after Ronaldo's penalty miss in the FA Cup that he's back on penalties and the odd direct free kick. But our captain this week is going to be Kevin De Bruyne, Man City's main maestro in midfield. I do think against Brentford that Man City will score a couple, and I think also like Bruno, Kevin De Bruyne is picking up the form after getting that assist and 3 bonus points in Game Week 23. Now, it's quite hard for me to pick a captain as I think Kevin De Bruyne is the more safe option, but I do think Bowen has the highest ceiling, and therefore I might actually switch this before that Game Week 24 deadline. But now we have only one player left in our starting 11, and you might have guessed it, it's going to be Antonio from West Ham. Antonio has played a majority of minutes in this international break, picking up all 3 fixtures for Jamaica. Unfortunately not qualifying for the FIFA World Cup, but I mean, it was a quite long distance, and I think he did return last night. Might not play the FA Cup game, but I am expecting him to play against Watford in the Prem. Now, Antonio, though, even if he does play, has not been in the best of form recently, picking up the odd kind of assist, but usually the 2 or 1 pointers. And I just hope against Watford, a newly promoted side, he can get back on the scoring wagon after getting on the attacking returns for Jamaica in this international break. But overall, the Game Week 24 team is actually looking pretty solid. Let me know in the comments down below who you guys are captaining, as I think the captaincy matrix this week will be quite an interesting one. So now that we've actually seen the context or the current Game Week 24 team selection, I'm going to talk about my transfers for the upcoming game week. So obviously, big double Game Week 26 was announced. I do think currently my plan for the transfers is to bank a transfer, as with my benching headache between Josh King, Dennis or Douglas Luiz, I think it's quite a good debate to go for, and therefore I don't think there's too many fires to put out, and therefore banking a transfer might give me some more strategy for the upcoming game weeks. A definite move that I probably will make is going to be taking Marcos Alonso out either for a Brighton defender, United defender, or maybe just planning for that double Game Week 26. But the only thing about that double Game Week 26 is I don't favour too many fixtures except for the Arsenal ones. And then blanking in 25 and 27 puts me off bringing in another Arsenal defender, as then I'll have to ship them out before that Game Week 27 deadline. So I don't know about you guys, but I think I could bank a transfer. Maybe you'll suggest some more moves in the upcoming game weeks, but I think I'll wait for the FA Cup to conclude before heavily looking at my chip strategy. And talking about that chip strategy, as I mentioned, the FA Cup games happening today as I'm recording this Saturday, and also tomorrow is Sunday, and after those have concluded, we'll get some more clarity on which team's potential blank in Game Week 30 and also double in Game Week 36. So make sure you guys are following Ben Crellin on Twitter. I will retweet whatever he does tweet in terms of predictions for the upcoming doubles and the blanks, as I do think the FA Cup games this weekend will give us a nice little bit of a clarity on our chip strategy. So my current chip strategy in terms of the upcoming game weeks, the only thing I'm considering is triple captaining Mo Salah in double Game Week 26 against Norwich at home and then Leeds at home. But besides that, I haven't really planned at all. And as I've mentioned throughout this season, I don't think you can plan too much with all the unpredictability in terms of the doubles and the blanks that will be coming up. But saying that, I always do think it's a good plan to kind of have some chips in place. But as I only own one free hit, I am saving that for probably later on the season when we do have a big blank in Game Week 30. Also won't be wildcarding, as I think the team looks relatively fine, and I do think I have enough double Game Week 26 players on the horizon that I could also bring in with those free transfers. But let me know in the comments down below, what are you guys doing? Are you bringing in Mo Salah this week? Are you not? I think with Mo Salah, I'm definitely not going to be bringing him in this week, but maybe next week for Kevin De Bruyne. But then Kevin De Bruyne also has Norwich away, which is a pretty respectable fixture. But this is basically wrap the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you did and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We see you guys tomorrow, maybe for a chip strategy video. Otherwise on Tuesday potentially for a deadline stream. So hopefully I do see you guys there. Otherwise enjoy the weekend and hopefully Watford do quite well and we get a lovely Ben Foster 10-pointer and a Josh King hat-trick. But I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.